Observe the macroeconomic landscape of your reality. You are told that inflation is a natural byproduct of global events. You are told that housing shortages are merely supply chain inefficiencies. You are told that your declining purchasing power is a temporary economic cycle, and if you just work harder, budget better, and save more, you will eventually reach financial stability. You are being lied to. It is a mathematical deception designed to keep you pacified while your generational wealth is systematically extracted. The middle class was never a permanent fixture of human civilization. If you study history, societies have almost always operated under a feudal structure. A tiny fraction of landowning elites at the top and a massive population of landless serfs at the bottom. The prosperous, property-owning middle class of the 20th century was a historical anomaly. It was a temporary economic contract permitted by the financial elite post-World War II to stimulate mass industrial consumption and prevent ideological revolutions in the West. Today, that contract has been unilaterally terminated. Welcome to the Great Squeeze. What you are experiencing across the United States and Europe is not a recession. It is a transition. It is the deliberate, calculated dismantling of the middle class to establish a neo-feudal society. A society divided into two distinct castes, those who own everything and those who rent everything. Let us dissect the primary weapon of this transition, the fiat currency illusion. You trade your finite time, your physical energy, and your intellect for a currency that the central banks can print infinitely at zero cost. When the Federal Reserve, or the European Central Bank, prints trillions of dollars and euros under the guise of quantitative easing or economic stimulus, they are not saving the economy. They are diluting the purchasing power of your labor. Inflation is not a mysterious economic weather event. It is a regressive, invisible tax. It transfers wealth from those who hold cash and earn wages, the working and middle classes, to those who hold hard assets, the financial elite. When they expand the money supply, your salary stays the same, but the cost of bread, electricity, and shelter doubles. Simultaneously, the value of the stock market, commercial real estate, and corporate portfolios skyrockets. You are mathematically engineered to become poorer, while the elite are mathematically guaranteed to become richer. They are stealing your time retroactively. But diluting your wages was only the first phase. The second phase is the eradication of private ownership. For decades, the foundation of middle-class sovereignty was home ownership. Owning the roof over your head meant you were not a serf. It meant you had equity, a stake in the system, and wealth to pass down to your children. Look at the real estate market today. You are not competing against other families to buy a home. You are competing against multi-trillion-dollar asset management firms like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. These institutions have access to institutional leverage and near-zero interest rates that you will never see. They are buying entire neighborhoods of single-family homes, paying cash and converting them into permanent rental properties. They are intentionally driving up the price of housing to ensure you can never afford a down payment. The World Economic Forum's infamous phrase, "You will own nothing and you will be happy," was not a prediction. It was a business model. When you cannot buy a house, you are forced to rent. When you cannot buy a car outright, you lease it. When you cannot afford software, entertainment, or even daily appliances, you subscribe to them. You are being transitioned into the subscription economy. In this system, you build zero equity. You own no assets. Every month, your entire paycheck is immediately drained to pay for access to basic survival needs owned by mega corporations. You are paying a monthly subscription fee just to exist on their planet. This is modern serfdom. A medieval peasant gave a percentage of his crop to the lord of the manor in exchange for living on the land. Today, you give 50 to 70% of your income to corporate landlords and banking institutions just to maintain a roof over your head and a car in your driveway. The mechanics are identical, only the terminology has evolved. To enforce this system, they have constructed the perfect psychological and financial cage, the debt trap and the credit score matrix. You are encouraged to accumulate debt from the moment you turn 18. Student loans that cannot be wiped out by bankruptcy. Predatory auto loans. High-interest credit cards required to build a good credit score. They teach you that a high credit score means you are financially responsible. In reality, a credit score is merely a metric of how profitable you are to the banking cartel. It measures your obedience in servicing debt. This debt is the ultimate tool of social control. A population that has savings and owns land can strike, protest, and demand political change. They have leverage. But a population that is heavily leveraged, living paycheck to paycheck, terrified of missing a mortgage or credit card payment, cannot fight back. If you are 30 days away from homelessness, you will not question the system. You will accept the stagnant wages. You will accept the corporate mandates. You will swallow your pride and remain an obedient, compliant gear in their machine because the alternative is complete financial ruin. They do not need to use physical force to control the masses. They control the money supply, the housing supply, and the debt. To solidify this financial cage, they had to remove your ability to fight back economically. Enter the illusion of choice. When you walk down the aisle of a supermarket in America or Europe, you see thousands of different brands. You believe you are participating in a free market economy, making independent, competitive decisions. You are not. Trace the supply chains. Follow the holding companies. You will find that nearly every product you consume, every beverage you drink, and every basic necessity you buy is controlled by a handful of mega conglomerates. Those conglomerates, in turn, are majority owned by the exact same asset management firms that are buying up your residential real estate. There is no free market. It is a closed-loop monopoly. They own the farm that grows the modified wheat, the processing plant that refines the artificial sugar, the pharmaceutical company that sells you the treatment when the food makes you sick, and the media network that tells you this entire process is perfectly normal. You are a captive consumer in a vertically integrated farm designed to continually harvest your capital. But absolute financial control is useless if the population realizes who the real enemy is. So, they engineered the ultimate distraction mechanism. While your wealth is being extracted in the physical world, your attention is being hijacked in the digital one. Social media algorithms are not designed to connect you. They are designed to exhaust your dopamine receptors. They feed you a constant stream of outrage, short-form entertainment, and polarized political theater. They manufacture consent by creating a cultural civil war. They want you fighting your neighbor over gender politics, climate guilt, and red versus blue illusions. As long as you are screaming at the person next to you, you will never look up and see the trillion-dollar wealth transfer happening right above your head. It is a psychological pacifier. A population with a ruined attention span cannot read financial reports, cannot study history, and cannot organize a meaningful resistance. The system is not broken. It is functioning exactly as it was designed. The middle class is being liquidated, and there is no political savior coming to rescue you. The politicians are funded by the very asset managers buying your neighborhoods. The regulatory agencies are staffed by former banking executives. The game is rigged at the foundational level. So, how do you respond to a system designed to strip you of everything? You stop playing by their rules. You recognize the illusion of fiat currency. You stop trading your time for depreciating paper and start converting your labor into hard, unseizable assets. You detach your self-worth from their credit scoring system. You acquire high-income, irreplaceable skills that cannot be automated by artificial intelligence or outsourced to a cheaper demographic. The era of the comfortable middle class is over. The future belongs either to the masters of the system or the sovereign individuals who build their own lifeboats outside of it. You can either remain blind to the mechanics of the squeeze and become a permanent, lifelong renter, or you can wake up, study the architecture of the matrix, and engineer your escape. They have shown you their plan. Now, it is time to execute yours.